White Coat Dream, the story of a miraculous little boy. Hello, dear listener. Today I'd like to share with you a story. Not a fairy tale, not a story of magic, but one of resilience, tears, and a tiny heart that refused to give up. It began on a clear, quiet morning. On a passenger bus traveling from Dak Lak to Saigon, a 6-year-old boy named Minh Khôi was chatting away with his mother. "Why is the sky so blue, Mom?" he asked. "Mom, I'm going to start grade 1 tomorrow." But then, a sudden crash shook the world around them. The bus veered off the road, slammed into a barrier, and flipped over. Screams, shouts, broken glass, and pain filled the air. Rescue teams arrived to find a terrible scene. Trapped in the wreckage was little Minh Khôi, bleeding, motionless, yet still holding tightly to his mother's hand. His mother, sadly, did not survive. Minh Khôi was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Brain trauma, a broken femur, lung injuries, massive blood loss. Everyone feared the worst. Dr. Nguyen Trung, who received him, later recalled, "His body was pale, almost lifeless, but even with his eyes closed, it felt like something in him was still clinging to life." The next 72 hours were a race against time. Minh Khôi lay unconscious, connected to machines, surrounded by wires and monitors. And then, after 10 days in a deep coma, he opened his eyes. A miracle. But waking up was only the beginning. The boy had lost his memory. He didn't recognize anyone. His leg was in a cast and one arm was nearly immobile. And worst of all was the pain of losing his mother. He would cry out at night, "Mom, it hurts! Mom, where are you?" His aunt, the only close family left, stayed by his side day and night, whispering, "You're strong, my boy. Your mom is proud of you from up there." Little by little, Minh Khôi started speaking again, then smiling, then trying to stand. Each step was painful, each move took effort, but he never gave up. One day, after falling hard during a walking exercise, he wiped his tears and said, "It's okay, doctor. I want to walk so I can go to school again." And then, one afternoon, while Dr. Shuk Trung was checking his vitals, Khôi whispered, "When I grow up, I want to be a doctor like you. I want to save people like you saved me." The doctor couldn't say a word. That one simple sentence meant more to him than any award or recognition. 3 months later, Khôi left the hospital, still walking with crutches, but his spirit was brighter than ever. Back at school, he was different from the other kids, slower, still healing. Some teased him, others watched him with sympathy. But Khôi proudly introduced himself. "I'm Khôi. I had an accident, but I survived. I wanted to be a doctor one day." He relearned how to write, this time with his left hand. He brought anatomy models to class to teach his classmates what he had learned in the hospital. One day, the school asked students to draw their dreams. Khôi drew a doctor wearing a white coat, holding a bright red heart. Below the drawing, in his shaky handwriting, were the words, "Doctor, the hero who saved my life." His story soon spread across social media. Thousands of people were moved to tears. Some sponsors pledged to fund his education until age 18. A group of young doctors even founded a fund called White Coat Dream to support his journey. The boy who once lay broken in a wreck became a symbol of hope. He was invited to share his story at events and on television. And when he spoke, with a gentle but steady voice, he said, "I know my mom isn't here anymore, but I believe she's watching me from above. Every time I push through the pain, I know she's smiling." You see, this little boy, just 6 years old, once lay motionless in a pile of metal and blood. He had no reason to survive, no guarantees. But today, he walks, studies, smiles, and carries within him a dream, the dream to heal. He doesn't have perfect legs, but he has an unshakable heart. No one told him to become a doctor, but life, with all its hardship, planted that seed deep in his soul. Someone once said, "A dream born in comfort is beautiful, but a dream born in suffering is powerful beyond measure." So if you're listening right now and life feels heavy, if your path seems uncertain, remember Minh Khôi, the little boy who faced death and came back, who now walks with crutches but stands tall with purpose, and says with a smile, "I'll be a doctor." We don't always choose how our story begins, but we can choose how we write the rest. And sometimes, all it takes is one dream to keep a tiny heartbeat going through the darkest of nights. You've been listening to The Flame Keeper, a series of real stories about hope and human spirit. Thank you for staying with us. Until next time.